In 1965, Singapore was a swampy island with no natural resources, no military, and no guaranteed water supply. It had just been expelled from Malaysia, and most experts thought it would fail. Today, Singapore has the third highest GDP per capita in the world, over $65,000 per person, higher than the United States, higher than Germany, higher than Japan. So how did a tiny island with nothing become one of the most advanced economies on the planet in just 60 years? It starts with one man, Lee Kuan Yew. Singapore's first Prime Minister served for over 30 years. And he had one singular obsession: survival. Lee understood that Singapore had nothing. No oil, no farmland, no strategic depth. The only resource available was its people. So he invested everything in them. He made English the language of education and business. He attracted multinational corporations with zero corruption and predictable laws. He built a government so efficient it became a model for the entire developing world. Singapore's education system consistently ranks number 1 globally in math, science, and reading. This isn't an accident. Teachers in Singapore are recruited from the top third of graduates. They're trained rigorously and paid competitively. Teaching is a prestigious profession, not a fallback career. The system channels students into different tracks based on ability: vocational, technical, academic. Every student gets optimized for their strengths. Critics call it ruthless. Results call it effective. Now look at the map. Singapore sits at the southern tip of the Malay Peninsula, right on the Strait of Malacca. About a quarter of all global trade passes through this strait. That makes Singapore's port one of the most strategically located on Earth. And Singapore made sure it was also the most efficient. The Port of Singapore handles over 37 million containers per year. It's the second busiest in the world. Ships can refuel, unload, and reload faster here than almost anywhere else. But Singapore didn't just build a port. It built an entire ecosystem around trade. Changi Airport consistently ranks as the world's best. The country became a global hub for logistics, finance, and tech. Everything connected. Here's something most people don't realize. About 80% of Singaporeans live in government-built housing. They're called HDB flats. But don't picture run-down Soviet blocks. These are modern, well-maintained apartments with parks, shops, and community spaces. The government sells 99-year leases at subsidized prices, making home ownership accessible to almost everyone. Every HDB block is deliberately mixed by race. Chinese, Malay, Indian, and other ethnic groups live side by side. This wasn't an organic outcome. It was engineered to prevent racial enclaves and promote social cohesion. Singapore also became a financial powerhouse. It now hosts over 200 banks. More hedge fund managers live here than in Hong Kong since 2020. The corporate tax rate is just 17%. There's no capital gains tax for wealthy individuals and multinational companies. Singapore offers stability, low taxes, and rule of law. It's Asia's Switzerland. In 2014, Singapore launched the Smart Nation initiative. The goal: turn the entire country into a technology testbed. Self-driving buses, sensor networks monitoring everything from traffic to trash bins, digital identity for every citizen, cashless payments everywhere. Singapore is building the city of the future in real time. So how did a tiny island with nothing become one of the smartest cities on Earth? Visionary leadership set the direction. Education built the human capital. Geography gave it a port. Policy created stability. And technology is writing the next chapter. Singapore proves that a country doesn't need resources to succeed. It needs strategy. It needs discipline. And it needs to be willing to bet everything on its people. That bet paid off spectacularly.